Martin, frickin' A, the Jax again. When are people going to learn? When are they going to remove Jax from you?
I actually feel like I didn't really do anything that game. It was kind of up to my team because they just kept trying to come for me. So it was up to me to stay back and let my team actually get the objectives, right? So
sure.
I got ahead in lane, which was good on Jax. But besides that, I didn't really get to get much split push, like actual objectives off, because they kept trying to put multiple members at me. So I could have done a better job of staying back. I actually died a couple times when I shouldn't have, but ended up working out pretty well with the Nidalee Kate poke and got some really good poke and siege out from that.
Yeah, and you guys have now won twice in a row with this very similar split push strategy. Obviously, EG tried a bit of a different way, collapsing for you more frequently. How do you think teams are going to be counterplaying that in the future? Because it's happened before where you split push hasn't worked.
I think EG has done did a really good job of trying to deal with the split push. They'd try to wait in brushes where we didn't have vision. We didn't have that great vision that game, which they took really good advantage of, and they tried to catch us in rotations when we weren't ready. And they almost won, just out-rotating us and just catching us in the jungle. But at the end, we started playing smarter and smarter until we didn't make any rotational mistakes or getting caught out early, and we just slowly sieged them down and won the game off that. So if teams get better at picking us off or sending more at me and me being in a bad position and getting caught, I think that would be a good way for them to stop the split push.
And that game got really crazy and hectic throughout it. Over 50 minutes long. There were a lot of really strange rotations around the map, like these counter pushes and whatnot. Kind of two parts. One, how much experience do you have playing games like that are so weird and rotational? And two, what's your mindset going into a game like that? How do you keep track of everything?
I think that some of the greatest games are actually the actual games. When I play in scrims, the games aren't nearly as crazy. They're over in 20 or 30 minutes because people are a lot more risky in scrims and they take a lot more chances in lane. So a lot of I don't have that much practice when things are that close and people are trying to catch each other in rotations like that as much, because it's the actual competitive matches where teams try really, really hard to find a mistake and exploit it. So we didn't really have that much experience going into that, but I think it was a really effective strategy by Evil Geniuses to try to catch us out.
Yeah, but you guys didn't make too many mistakes. Shifter, you played 2 Jax games. Shifter played 2 Nidalee games. He also didn't die in either one. Talk a little bit about his play this game.
Shifter has a really adaptable playstyle, and when he's on Nidalee, he knows he needs to stay back and he's poking. And he's really good with his positioning in team fights especially. So he's really good. When he's not supposed to get caught out, he doesn't get caught out. And he did exactly what he was supposed to do. Poke him down, stay out of range of anti-initiation, Volibear, flash flip, that kind of thing, and just poke him down, and he did that really well.
Yeah, and we actually have a replay of one of the crazy split push moments. I know you're on one side of it, so you may not be able to talk about the other side, but if we can get this up on the screen. Zion, talk to me about what your team is trying to do here, because I'm sure you guys have practiced this and you know what they're up to.
Yeah, so I'm Jax, and I'm stronger than Shyvana, so all I need to do is split while they land grabs and go for poke, land a great hook on Snoop, get a Piltover Peacemaker off and land some poke down. We've got the traps set down. Just look for more hooks over and over again. 40% CDR Thresh. Just gets poked down and then passive saves them barely.
Then they initiate.
Yeah, then they get a good initiation off. Yeah, a little bit of panic there. We've got the Crucible down. Violet's in on Pobalt there. I don't know if that was the best option, but we ended up peeling back from it, landing some good. Oh my God, that spear! I didn't even see that.
Well, you were off killing Inox on your own right. So
yeah, in between 3 of them, that was really good. And then we actually ended up pushing up off that. So yeah, it's just a lot of cat and mouse. If they push up, we go back. I push up bottom. If they try to come for me, I back up. Top pushes in. It's kind of just backing up and going in at the right times. And oh wow, another spear.
Just finding those really small moments, because if those spears don't land, no one has to follow.
Exactly. It's all about landing the spears. But when you have 40% CDR on Nidalee, it's pretty hard to not land that spear. When you've got the traps down, you've got the hooks, you're just flying projectiles. They don't know what to do, and something's got to land.
Yeah, and on your end, during that fight, of course, you had Dovin Shyvana, and she died. What's the coordination like? Because I remember one of the times you were splitting, they actually pink warded the wall, so you have no idea who's waiting on the other side, if Kale's ganking you. What's the coordination like to know, oh, am I getting 2v1 now or not?
When they have the vision gone like that, the #1 option to do is always make the safer play, because it's less risk and higher reward. If I don't know if somebody's there, I back up. When I see 4, I can push up. But if you don't see them, then that's the unknown. And do you want to take a risk pushing up? I'm the kind of guy who likes to take those risks, but sometimes when it can lose you the game, you don't want to do things like that. So if they have a pink ward over the wall, which is a good strategy, and I can't clear it, then it's harder for me to push up, definitely.
And you guys actually only had 2 wins coming into this week, and now you have 2 more, so you really equaled your win total for the whole week. How did you guys do that this week as compared to the other ones?
I think we're slowly finding team comps and champions we want to play better, because I was kind of like just picking Yasuo. Yasuo was a pretty good pick, but then I picked like Riven, and we didn't really use the Riven pick to the full potential. I think we're figuring out what we need to do with our picks better, and it kind of looks like the same thing we always do, but we're kind of like understanding ourselves better and what our limits are and what we can play and what we cannot play and where we need to improve. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of improvement for us, but at least we're winning now, so that's a good thing. And we're on our way up the standing, so hopefully we'll end up somewhere good at the end of the season.
And actually, coming into this, of course, you did go 2-0 this week. What have you learned specifically this week in these LCS games, if anything?
Something I want to say is that you don't necessarily have to play Shyvana, Mundo, and Renekton. It's just harder to pull off those champions that beat those champions, because you have to practice that champion. They only work in specific scenarios, and you have to have like a plan going in. But if you have to do all that work to not play Shyvana, Renekton, or Mundo, is it really worth it? And that's why a lot of teams are just like, let's pick those champions. It's really easy. We can focus on bot lane or mid lane. We don't have to do anything with top lane. But teams are figuring out how to exploit these picks. Mundo, you can dive him. Renekton, he's got a really strong early lane, but if he doesn't get anything going with it, then he's just a tank. And he's not that strong as, say, Shyvana, who maybe has a little weaker laning phase, but if she stays in the lane with that Renekton, she can become a stronger threat than he can.
All right, Zion, final question as we approach the last game of the day. It's a pretty big matchup between CLG and TSM. How do you see these teams matching up?
I think that whoever wins mid lane, Link or Bjergsen, is definitely going to have a lot of impact in the game. And depending on what that lane matchup is, there could be just a lot of pressure there, and I think that lane's going to be the biggest lane to focus on. In addition to the bot lane, Balls versus Nian, I feel like it's just going to be another tank fest. If there's a Mundo, expect a lot of pressure there on whichever team has the champion that isn't Mundo, and I think it's just going to be up a lot to the team comps, because like CLG, they know their strength is when Doublelift is strong. They abuse that really well, and not only did they have great rotations in their game against Cloud9, they had a perfect comp to complement that playstyle with the Lulu mid to support his AD carry.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, Zion, thank you very much. Congratulations on your 2 wins and your 2 awesome Jax games as well. But guys, we have, of course, more games coming on. We're going to take